It's Wednesday, March the 1st. Set me free, says Shipman. There's grannies to kill. Charles told to put on hat. He says, OK. Please welcome the teacher's pet, Mr. Ian Lee.
Welcome to the 11 o'clock show. Kids 8, who'd have them? Well, other kids mostly, and of course Gary Glitter. But, no, but don't they say the funniest things? Only yesterday, one little one came up to me and said, "No, Uncle Ian, I don't want to take some sweeties out of your pockets. You scare me." Ugh. Brilliant, I gave him a smack. But today saw the launch of a national campaign to reduce the number of teenage pregnancies, and mostly it involves giving condoms to male teachers. Dirty buggers, sack them all. The situation is so bad that schoolgirls cast as Mary in the nativity plays are bringing their own babies. Even Sonia from EastEnders is set to get pregnant. What a ridiculous idea. Who'd shag her? Apart from Robbie. Or Wellard. No, it's quite difficult. The good news is, as she knows, the good news is that research shows that the more intelligent kids are, the longer they have to wait to have sex, which means I've got more chance of getting into Mensa than I have of getting into a lady. Don't get it. I do, it's very good. Now, is it any wonder that kids misbehave? I mean, when I was naughty, my dad would show me the back of his hand, and as I was looking at it, he'd hit me round the head with a cricket bat. So how do we solve the problem of unruly children? I say bring back national service. After all, they've already got the combat trousers, they'd enjoy being part of a crack troop, and some of them even have their own guns. But enough of these juvenile japes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the girl who get us all into trouble, Miss Daisy Donovan.
Congratulations to Kat Deely for being voted Woman of the Year, but you'll be very pleased to know, Ian, that in the category of Best Thrice-Weekly Topical Comedy Show Female Presenter on Channel 4, I came a very creditable 9th. Oh, no. Just behind Marie Curie.
Daisy Donovan, well done, fantastic news.
Thanks very much. Now, let me tell you what's happening on tonight's show. Paul Garner goes behind the headlines to uncover the truth about road rage. We're under the covers with convicted Madam Cynthia Payne.
And later on, I'll be finding out why women under the age of 35 make the best bosses.
But first, it's today's headlines.
Tonight's top stories.
A high-profile spokesman for the cosmetics industry has denied that there is a link between wearing excessive amounts of makeup and mad cow disease.
A young offenders institution has been praised for its new incentive scheme. Inmates who behave well are allowed the use of a Game Boy in their cell. Those who behave badly get to be the Game Boy.
A 6-foot alligator is at large in a Newcastle park. It was last sighted surrounded by a group of dancing Geordie slappers who thought it was Newcastle's biggest handbag.
The British Toilet Association say that 1 in 3 public conveniences is to be phased out. They describe the move as the sad demise of another traditional cottage industry.
And those were tonight's headlines.
The government announced new plans today to make Britain's roads safer.
However, the new plans fail to tackle the increasing danger of road rage. Luckily, Paul Garner has this emergency report.
You know, children have always been fascinated with cars, and it's hard to believe that one day kids like these will become the violent, foul-mouthed scum which add to the ever-increasing number of assaults known today as road rage.
Right! You see how easy it is? I've only been in the car 10 minutes now, and already I can feel my blood and stress levels rising as a result of some of the stupid fucking idiots that I have to share the road with. Yeah, you wanker! To defuse potential flare-ups, here's a few ideas that could help you when you're actually out on the road.
Stop yourself before things get out of hand.
How much of the road do you want, you pillock?
Instead of confronting the other road users, just stop and count to 10.
1, 2.
Look at some of the new technology which enables you to communicate with your fellow road users whilst avoiding confrontation. A simple keyboard and LCD screen allows your concerns to be understood by other drivers. Listen to the advice of those like Steve Thomas. In 1997, he made the newspapers for all the wrong reasons when he left another motorist in a coma for 2 weeks after an unprovoked road rage assault.
He cuts me up on the Chiswick roundabout and I just saw red.
Yeah, but that hardly seems enough to warrant hitting him like you did with a car jack.
Yeah, well, the Muppet cut me up.
Yeah, as I say, that shouldn't really have provoked the...
Look, mate. The Muppet cut me up.
I went to the home of Kevin Turner, the innocent young man Steve had left for dead in Chiswick. He told me his version of events on that day in 1997.
And by all accounts, this was a totally unprovoked attack, wasn't it, Kevin?
Yeah. I remember I was driving along the A4, coming up to the roundabout, and there was this guy who was waving his arms and hooting, and I thought something was wrong. So I pulled over, and then all I can remember is that this guy just got out of the car, and then he just went for me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You take your time. There's
Oh,
all the
sorry.
time in the world. There's no rush.
All right, thanks. Tony was with me, my boyfriend. He was in the car.
Hang on. Your boyfriend?
My partner, Tony. We've been together for 11 years. He was in the car.
That's not the story I heard. I've spoken to Steve and he said you cut him up. I mean, you can't go around cutting people up. You muppet!
Road rage ruins lives. The next time you find yourself getting worked up at the wheel, just remember this little phrase. Don't get angry, get even. Better as a user of Britain's road and motorway network. This is Paul Garner, The 11 O'Clock Show in West London.
Right, which one of you fellas fancies a nice cuppa?
Piss off, Benders, piss off.
Britain's banks have caused outrage today by deciding to charge customers £2.50 for having the sheer audacity to want to withdraw their own money from a cash point.
But where will that extra money go? Well, here's what the experts predict.
Queuing. 5 pence will be spent on improving waiting time. The monotonous cashier number 5, please message will be revoiced by the more human tones of Housewives' favourite Stephen Hawking.
Currency. 15 pence is being spent on more up-to-date banknotes. Instead of stuffy train inventor George Stephenson, the £5 note will feature former brushstroke star Carl Howman. The £10 note is livened up by good old boys, the Dukes of Hazzard. While the world of pop is represented by Posh Spice, who dons a glittery dress to play the silver strip down each note.
Security. 45p goes on improving cashier safety. In the event of a robbery, panic buttons will now link directly to pop hero Sting. It may end in carnage, but Sting will be there to perform a benefit gig for the victims' families.
The remaining £1.25, well, that'll be spent on important administration. Bank bosses will be using the notes to wipe off their cocks after knobbing their secretaries. I mean, come on, you love it, fat cats!
And that was our guide to the new cash point charges.
Now, we all know that women have traditionally had a tough time in the workplace. Not only do they have to put up with sexist, patronising crap from the men, but they also have to deal with their petty mood swings.
And having sexually inadequate males flash them from behind the photocopier.
Yeah, sorry.
Despite that, a report out today says that women make better bosses than men. Take a look.
A report out today suggests that women under the age of 35 make the best bosses in the workplace. But is the key to success a firm handshake or a firm breast? I've come here to London to find out. I'm a woman under 35. What are my assets? I'm not talking about my hands.
What are your assets? I don't quite understand the question.
I've got 4 women working for me, and, you know, we do all right, but if they refuse to turn tricks, obviously I cut them. Does that make me a good boss?
Well, not really, because both of you have to respect each other. And
I respect them. It's just a case of if they don't turn tricks, then obviously I've got to cut them to let them know who's boss.
oh, sure, yeah, that's right. You must let them know, who's in charge.
The report also concludes that women make better bosses because of the pitch of their voice. Could you sack me like a woman?
No.
If you did have a woman boss, you would spend a lot of your time just looking at her skirt, wondering what she was like, wouldn't you?
Yes, yeah, of course.
You filthy pervert! Just take it up, say half an octave. Ready?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't sack you. Actually, I wouldn't sack you.
Just a bit higher.
I wouldn't sack you. Well, because it's not my scene. It's not my scene.
Oh, Don, hello, how are you?
All right, I'm sorry, I won't be coming to work today because I've got an upset stomach. I'm not too well. I feel I've got a bit of a headache and that.
You want some time off then, do you?
Yeah, a couple of days I do.
A couple of days?
Yes.
Well, you take some time off. Take the rest of your fucking life off because you're fired.
Okay, thank you. I'll get another job.
So there we have it. Young women do make the best bosses. So don't try and tell me any different, right? This has been Daisy Donovan for the 11 o'clock show in London.
You're the stern lady all of a sudden. Let's put an end to that. That's the end of part 1. Coming up in part 2, Ricky Gervais on Britain's crumbling education system.
But first, pause for a moment at the end of your day and listen to this charity appeal, please.
Hello. Hear that? That's the sound of a baby dolphin calling for her mother in the dangerous waters of the Pacific. She's lost her way and she's very timid. This bar of soap was her mother. You know, it needn't happen. Please, please send us some money now. Have a heart. A baby dolphin. Come on. Don't be a
of March still to come. Ricky Gervais and Cynthia Payne, but first today's headlines.
Charles visits Caribbean. They say thanks for the dope.
Unemployed to get mobile phones. Now no reason to get out of bed.
Study says being fat and lazy is good for you. That's because they can't see how small their tiny winkies are.
When they said the revolution will not be televised, they hadn't considered the literal revolution of the London Eye, which is on our screens more often than Jeremy Spake, and I've heard charges less per ride. Now, to tell us what you can see from the top, here's reporter Ian Stone standing at the bottom. Ian.
Yes, Daisy, I'm here at the London Eye, as you can see, set to become London's most popular tourist attraction since public hanging.
How does it compare to the Dome?
Well, it's a bit like comparing a 20-year marriage with a one-night stand. You know, with the Dome, it's time and effort, whereas the Eye, you just hop on for a quick ride and walk off with a smile on your face.
And what do the paying public think?
Well, the reaction has been good. People say they love the views over the capital, but were a bit disappointed that even with cloud cover, they could still see Croydon.
So it's looking like it'll be a great success.
Well, now it's a shining monument to the new millennium, but give it a year of the great British public and it'll probably smell like a town block lift, full of teenagers trying to join the Quarter Mile High Club or committing acts of pod rage.
Ian, thank you.
Pleasure.
David Blunkett has issued strict new targets for schools in an effort to improve levels of education. Here's Ricky Gervais with his report.
David Blunkett vowed today to close any school which fails to reach new GCSE targets. Under the controversial new scheme, schools that miss these targets will be closed down, renamed, and teachers will have to reapply for their old posts. Good. They're obviously shit at their jobs. In fact, most teachers are shit. I don't entirely blame them. I blame the kids as well. They're thick. And there's fuck all you can do with div kids. So why bother, in my opinion? It's throwing good money at bad. Give them till they're 6 or 7 to see if they're good at anything, and if they're not, get them started in crime, or get them a job packing shelves in a supermarket. That way they'll have a decent wage by the time they're 40. The worst teachers are PE teachers. Mine was called Mr. Morris, yeah? And if you forgot your football shorts, he didn't make you play in your pants. No, he thought pants were unhygienic. He'd make you play with nothing on your bottom half. To be fair, he wasn't a hypocrite. He imposed the same rules on himself when he forgot his shorts. He forgot his shorts every week. His catchphrase was, "Nice tackle, boy." That wasn't his only catchphrase. He also had, "You don't wash it like that, boy." Give it to me. I'll do it. It was a rescue, though, it still is. my nephew goes there, he's only 13, yeah, and he came in before Christmas, yeah, true story, with blood on his shirt, and said that another boy had cut him with a penknife, yeah. My sister goes down to school to see the teacher and asked her why the other boy wasn't punished. And the teacher said, oh, he's from Kosovo, and he's had a really hard time. His father was shot and his mother was beaten up in front of him. And my sister said, serves him right for moving to Reading. This is Ricky Gervais, for the 11 o'clock show, London.
Everyone has their own idea of happiness. To some, it's a puff on a fat cigar. For Dr. Shipman, it's a lock-in at the bingo.
But News Out Today claims that the best way to stay happy is to slob around at home. Apparently, people who take regular exercise are as miserable as sin, whereas people who squat on the sofa, boozing, dribbling and guffing feel great. Bad news for Linford Christie, great news for Judy Finnegan.
So, do you and your family have what it takes to find happiness? Is your family a family of slobs? Find out now with this simple test.
When you get home after a hard day's work, has your wife...
A. Prepared a hearty evening meal.
Or B. Spent the day scoffing a cinema pack of Maltesers and shitting into a bag?
Does a romantic night in mean...
A. Watching Sleepless in Seattle with your partner.
B. Watching Eyes Wide Shut with your sock.
When your husband makes love to you, does he...
A. Put on a romantic record and stick a rose between his lips.
Or B. Put in a pizza and stick a Snickers between your lips.
Squeeze onto the sofa to watch...
A. The telly.
B. The greyhound screwing next to the radiator.
So, if you answered mostly A's, you need to get in more.
And if you answered mostly B's, you'll die happy, probably tomorrow from pie cancer.
And that was our scientifically proven slob test. Daisy, go on. Tell the audience about tonight's guest.
Will do, Ian. She was imprisoned in the 80s for running a suburban vice den where clients used luncheon vouchers to buy sex sandwiches. Tonight, she's left her sandwich box at home with her sex slave so that we can enjoy her personal services. Please welcome Cynthia Payne.
Thank you very much for coming along and joining us. Now, it's true, isn't it, that at your house parties, people exchange luncheon vouchers in return for sexual favours. How did that work?
Well, you know, they were fiddling me, the girls, and...
They were what? I thought it was the blokes that came in they'd be fiddling.
No, we used to charge £20 in those days, food, drink, and a lady of their own choice. We used to knock £5 off road age pensioners, and we used to charge half price if they were past it.
What girl was the most popular?
Oh, the Welsh girls were the best.
Really?
Oh,
They're
yes.
dirty, aren't they, Welsh girls? They are dirty.
It does happen to be St David's Day today, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm off to get a couple of Welsh hookers after the show.
No, the Welsh girls, they enjoyed a party as well as getting a few bob.
And this all happened in your South London home, didn't it? So what did the neighbours think?
Well, there was never any noise because they were all upstairs in bed, weren't they?
Did they ever, you know, pop round to complain and then...
No, I never had any complaints. Never had any complaints. I used to live right next door to Carl Davis, the music composer, and he never knew what was going on. Until, of course, the news broke out and...
He was around there like a shot.
All the Black Mariahs outside my house, and we were all taken into the Black Mariah, all gone down to the police station. There was 40 men in the house and 20 girls.
Christ, a lot of people going twos up and having chicken sandwiches. Well, we think your talents are wasted and want to put you back to work. Now, imagine you're organising a fantasy party for us this weekend. We want to know who'll be there, what they'll do when they get there. So let's play Cynthia's house party, all right?
Right, every party needs a hostess. What are the essential qualities for the job?
You've got to make sure the girls are nice, because if the girls aren't nice... I was very lucky. I used to get enthusiastic amateurs.
We also need a celebrity couple for our party. Tell us what you think, because Posh and Bex have been in the news. She seems to wear the trousers. But what about in the bedroom? Who comes out on top?
Well, could she beat something like this, for instance?
Let's have a look at this.
That's me in a
Show this on the
catsuit.
camera. This is
That's
you.
a cheeky lady.
Mind you, that's 25, 30 years ago, maybe.
Thanks very much for that.
What about our royal lovers, Edward and Sophie? Who's on top there?
Well, I'm a royal family admirer, so I don't like running the royal family down. But
he's a bit.
I like Charles. Actually, I think he's going to make a great king.
What about Edward though? He's a bit limp, isn't he?
Well, you know, Sophie's good for him.
You got it right the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia Payne. Thanks very much. Earlier, we reported on David Blunkett's plans to close underachieving schools. And for more on that story, go back live to Ricky Gervais. Ricky, have you found out any more about David Blunkett's plans?
No, but I've got an idea for headmasters of shit schools, right? If I was them, what I'd do, when Blunkett came round and said, I want to check your standards, I'd go, you want to see the exam results, do you? Actually, I'll read them to you, shall I? I'd go, maths, brilliant. Science, top marks. English, yeah, we came top in everything. And Blunkett would go, all right then, see you next year. Actually, I just remembered something, right? Also about my school. Remember I was telling you about Mr Morris, the PE teacher?
Yeah.
Right? He used to try and impress all the divs with stories, usually about sex, right? And he told us this, and we were meant to believe it. He said that when you're captured by cannibals, they show you pornographic pictures so you get an erection and there's more meat. That's true, right? So you're in the pot, and the chief is adding a bit of salt and thumbing through a copy of Big and Bouncy, and you're going, oh, don't kill me, I don't want to die. Look at the mutton shutters on that. Throwing your plate right into their hands. More meat.
Yeah, thanks so much, Gervais. As usual, nothing to do with anything.
Schools, bye.
Time now for the news just in.
Alan Shearer has announced he's to become a dad. The couple were using the barrier method of contraception, but Shearer managed to curl one in from just outside the box.
Scientists in Thailand are attempting to make electricity from elephant dung. A spokesman said their first priority was to generate enough power to run the extractor fans.
As Moors murderer Ian Brady continues his hunger strike, prison officers have stepped up security. They've narrowed the bars on his cell.
During his court appearance, Brady issued a statement that every human being has the right to refuse food. The statement was read out by his lawyer, a Miss Ali McBeal.
Officials are outraged by a tourist guide that claims Brits are all drunken, loudmouth yobs. The spokesman for the UK Tourist Board responded by belching and saying, "Come on, you slags, I'll have the lot of you." Yeah.
A gardening group were annoyed with the £7,000 cost of a one-hour lecture by Charlie Dimmock. The organiser complained that she spent 10 minutes talking and 50 minutes slowly bending over to pick up her notes.
And that was the news just in.
Tonight's show.
Tomorrow night we'll be talking about pop
music.
Smooth.
As Ben Miller looks ahead to the Brit Awards. But before that, shocking proof that Britain's drug habit is getting out of control as even Prince Charles gets mashed off his tits on E.
And finally, just what are Britain's favourite TV shows? I went to find out. Good night.
Good night.
What's your favourite programme on television?
The Bill.
What's your second favourite?
Touch of Frost.
Third favourite? Can you sum up what you think of the 11 o'clock show in one word?
I don't know it. I've never seen the 11 o'clock show. What's it, Channel 5? Sorry? Channel 5?
Fuck off, it's Channel 4. Your sixth favourite programme on television?
Sixth one? Don't know, really.
Okay, and your seventh? What do you think of Daisy Donovan?
Never heard of it.
Ricky Gervais?
Never.
And your eighth favourite programme on television?
Eighth one? Only Fools and Horses.
Morgana?
No.
Don't know why I'm bothering.